And we're now being joined by Fred Weir, journalist and political commentator from Moscow, for the very latest on this. And Fred Weir, thanks very much indeed for talking to WION. Your thoughts, how feasible is this polar silk route? I know it's an ambitious plan, but given the region's own limitations, how doable is this in the near future?
Well, it all hinges upon global warming eventually opening up these Arctic ice sheets, certainly for a bigger part of the year, and making the waterway available for shipping, and making it possible to search for minerals and oil, energy resources under what had been the ice cap, and that is happening by many accounts, but it's happening very slowly. It will be decades before this open water appears really in a reliable way. Even now, Russia is building giant new icebreakers for the summer season, because shipping that goes through that Northeast Passage still requires to be escorted by a big icebreaker to get it through difficult patches. That's one big problem or obstacle, in the short term. But another one is the geopolitical situation, which is making it much, much harder for both Russia and China to develop their ties with the wider world, because that's what China wants from the Northeast Passage. It doesn't just want to use that passage, it wants to strengthen its Silk Road project, its Belt and Road initiative throughout the world and throughout the northern part of the world. And increasingly other countries of the Arctic are shutting China down, refusing Chinese investment. So that makes this project less appealing.
Right. And how does this really compare to other economic corridors and routes such as the IMEC or even the extension of the CPEC?
Well, there are several alternatives in development. For instance, there is the North-South corridor, which would, from seaports in southern Iran, go right up, enable cargoes to be shipped by train all the way to the Russian east-west rail network. So there are competitors in this field of not just creating new transport routes, but creating transport routes that would be immune from sanctions, from American oversight and control, because that is the subtext here. Of course, Russia and China both want to get out from under the thumb of American control.
Right. And, I just want to go back to that point of climate change that you were making. And, a lot of people think that by 2050, the Arctic's topography will change significantly because of climate change. And this particular project, among others in the developing world, is likely to have adverse climate impact on this kind of heavy traffic route, which is undeniable in the Arctic Circle.
Yes, I was up there in Murmansk about 4 years ago, and I visited a nuclear icebreaker, talked to the captain. And the thing that surprised me is that they're all very skeptical of global warming. They say they don't see it happening. And maybe it's because they go out there every summer and they only see incremental changes, whereas scientists are seeing the big picture. But it will be decades. And so the development right now is just to create port infrastructure, which Russia wants Chinese capital and expertise for, and to build new icebreakers, because Russia itself is building, I think, 6 new giant icebreakers. So they don't see the ice going away anytime soon.
Right. Fred Weir, journalist, political commentator from Moscow. Thanks very much indeed for sharing your thoughts this afternoon.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.